So if you look at this one, it only hits this line once. It doesn't hit it and then move away from it and come back to it again. I'm talking, do you guys understand what I'm saying? It's only hitting it once. When we say hit it more than once, we mean hit it and then move away from it and then come back to it, which it doesn't do that.
But you have to say that they hit the same line only once.
Yep.
Right? Because it goes away, but then it can hit the other line again, because there's two
Well,
separate
but
lines.
at the same time. Does it hit it twice at the same time?
Same line at the same time, yeah.
Right. Does this hit it?
It's hitting here.
Does it hit it more than once?
Is it hitting like anywhere?
Yeah, no, it
It
doesn't.
goes away and then comes
Same
back
line.
to another.
Exactly.
Like what she's saying, is it
Right.
hitting? Yes. But if you take it away.
Let's try recording it. That'll be good. Okay. And then the range. Gabe.
Same thing.
Same thing. Negative infinity is less than x, which is less than positive infinity. All right, good. Now, next one, number 4. Shania, start us off. Function or relation?
Relation.
Yes, because
It also
L is ELT. Good. Callie, what'd you get for the domain?
negative 1 is less than equal to x is less than positive infinity.
Right, so negative 1 can equal x, so we have a square bracket there. And then on the other hand is infinity, and we cannot ever equal infinity, so that would be the rounded bracket, or the not equal to part. Good. Ryan, what'd you get for the range?
Negative infinity is less than x, which is less than positive infinity.
Good. In other words, negative infinity to positive infinity. Great. Okay, so then the next one, 5 and 6, 5, 6. David, what did you get for the first one? Is it a function or relation?
Function.
Function, y,
Passes the
good. And then, Natalia, what did you get for the domain?
I didn't finish that. I did the interval first.
Yep, I know, that's okay. Give me the interval.
Negative infinity, positive infinity?
Yep, negative to positive infinity. So it's going to look like this. Negative infinity is less than x is less than positive infinity. Good. Deja, do you want to give me the range?
1 and then negative infinity.
Okay, yeah. So negative infinity to 1. So here's the thing. Remember, interval, you always do the smallest one first. So which is smaller, negative infinity or 1? Negative infinity. So negative infinity to 1. Can you equal 1?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Deja is going to be square bracket or a rounded bracket?
Square.
Good. Everyone on board with that? So remember, you always put the smallest one first. Okay. So then how it looks like for this part is going to be negative infinity is less than x is less than 1, and it can't equal 1, so I'll go back and put the not equal sign. So that's pretty much what I do. Is I just take these ones, I plug them into, before and after x with these little, eating signs that kind of always go this way. And then they can equal it, then just add in the equal sign afterwards. That's kind of the easiest way to do it if you want to just kind of keep things kind of simple for yourself. Okay, so now we get to the tricky one, eh? Is this a function or relation? It is a function. Right, remember, even though this line, we care about it touching a line and then going away from the line and touching it again. So it touches this line once, for a long time, but it just touches it once. Does that kind of make sense? Okay, so it is a function. So it passes the DLT. Good. Now the domain, the furthest left it goes is negative infinity, right? People got that part? But then, and the furthest right it goes to positive infinity. But here's the issue. It goes to 0 in between. Is this the same one where it can't equal 0? So it goes from negative infinity up to 0. Cannot equal 0 since we rounded. And then it starts up again, so we're going to union it with, starts up again on the other side of 0 and goes off to positive infinity. And again, it can't touch 0, so it should be rounded brackets here. Can't touch 0, can't touch infinity. How? Let's see, how do I write that as an inequality? You're going to write two inequalities. You're going to write 1 for this part, union 1 for that part. So I'm going to give that a shot. Write inequality for this part, inequality for that part, and then you put that little union symbol between them. Give it a try. Again, for me, I'm just going to write the first one, and then kind of the eating symbol X, and then the eating symbol, and then the next one, 0. And then I'm going to go back through and see if I need to put any underlines here. But they're all not equal to, so there's no underlines. And then, do the same thing for the other one. Union, oops, sorry, union 0 to X. To positive infinity, like that. Questions on this part? So again, if this part screws you up, do this one first, right? And then just, you plug them in with X in the middle. So negative infinity, X, 0, and then just put the little eating sign symbols going to the right. Then afterwards, check and see if there's any equals parts, so then you put the little line underneath if it can equal, but it doesn't in this case. All right, so how about the range? What's the lowest it goes?
0.
0. Does it ever touch 0? It never does. I'm just telling you that. It never touches 0. So, let's do our interval first. It goes down to 0, but never touches 0. So rounded bracket. What's the highest it goes? It looks like it stops, but it actually goes on and on forever. My bad. So it really goes on and on forever. So what's the highest it goes? Anyone? Infinity, thank you. So this one actually ended up being easier than we thought. So I'm going to write in the inequality that goes with that.
Well, there's no union on that interval?
Nope. Nope. So I'm just going to draw my little X with the little things, on either side of it, eating that direction. And then put the 0 on this side, put the infinity on the other side. Can it equal either of them? Are either of them equal to?
No.
Nope, so then you're done. Okay. So you guys can go ahead and put this one away, keep it. So this one, Unit 2, working with functions. I'm going to do this one in class. It's not a homework. That's incorrect. We're going to make this one just an in-class one. That's less homework for you, more stuff just done in class, because I guess it's easier. All right, let's get a reader for this one. Deja, go ahead and read for me.
In this worksheet, you will work with functions in a
Variety?
of ways. evaluation of functions. When the rule for a function is given, we can use the rule to find out the output when an input is given. This process is called function evaluation.
Perfect, thank you. David, go ahead and read the next paragraph.
Suppose a function
F,
f is given by the equation
that's f of x.
f of
That's
x
how we say that one. It's right here, everyone. This is what we
to
call this f of x. Can everyone say that? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
f of
F of x, good, great. Equals, go ahead.
to negative
Yeah, minus.
minus 3x.
Mm-hmm.
The algebraic expression 2 negative
2 minus 3x.
2 minus 3x is the rule for the function. It tells you how to convert an input x into an output f of x, also known as the value of the function or the y value.
Perfect, thank you. So remember, my output is f of x, also known as y. F of x is y. Is everyone on board? Great. Alex, next one, example?
Use the function f of x equals 2 minus 3x to find the function value f of 5. Don't we keep reading?
Yep, yeah.
Solution. The notation f of 5 is telling you to replace the input, the variable x, with the value 5 in the function rule, and then to calculate the answer, the output. Once you do that, you should simplify the answer to a single number. Here are the steps.
Yep, perfect, thank you. So the first one, f of x equals 2 minus 3x. F of 5, when you put 5 in for x, what that means is everywhere you see an x, replace it with a parentheses. In that parentheses, put in 5. Why is it important to put the parentheses? It gets into things crazy, like when x is a negative number, it keeps you from doing something weird. Like if I just put in, if it's like f of negative 2 equals 2 minus 3x, if I just put in, if I just put in negative 2 for 3x, I'd be confused, is that 3 minus 2 or 3 times negative 2? Do you guys see what I'm saying? So that's why it's, and then when you get to squaring things, then it becomes a whole bigger problem, right? That even makes things even more complicated. So I suggest, whenever you write this, here's my rule. Write the function down just like it is, f of x equals, or actually I would even leave that blank, f of blank equals, and then everywhere you see an x, leave a blank. So I'm just going to rewrite this, and everywhere I see an x, I just leave a big blank parentheses. So here, f of x, I see an x, I leave a big giant blank parentheses, equals 2 minus 3, I see another x, giant parentheses, just like that. Then, I throw stuff in there. What am I going to throw in there? And this time, I'm going to throw in what? 5. So I pop 5 into there. Everywhere there's a parentheses, I'm going to put in 5. And then I compute it. 2 minus 3 times 5. Well, what happens first? Multiplication or addition, subtraction? Multiplication, so it becomes 2 minus 15. And if I have $2 and I owe $15, is my net worth positive or negative? Negative. All right, I have $2, I owe 15, my net worth is negative $13. So that's, you can either write f of 5 equals negative 13, or you could write y equals 13. I'm sorry, negative 13. Why? Because f of 5, y is the same thing, right? So you could write either one. It just, this one gives you a little more information. It says y at 5. Yeah, but you know you're talking about mx is 5. All right, so take a look. So this first one, what's my input value here and what's my output value? So you guys think about value being a number. So what number is my input? What number is my output? Write those in. And then what's another way of writing the evaluating function? And I'll give you a hint. Remember x comma y. So using x comma y, figure out a way to rewrite it that way. So In your groups, I'm gonna have you guys do this together in your groups in a minute, but again, remember, input value means what number in here is the input. Output value, that means value, what number in here is the output. So just remember that, inputs and outputs. You guys remember inputs and outputs? Our inputs are our whats? Our x's or our y's? Which ones? Are our inputs the x's or the y's?
X.
X's. Our outputs are the
Y.
y's. Some of you guys remember that one? You drop the x into the input and it spits out a y. That's your,
So the F is a Y.
f of x is a y. F of x is a y, yeah. And then find the indicated values for each of these functions. So find these, right? This is evaluate these. So in other words, you're going to put in -3 in here for x. So again, I'm asking you guys to practice writing it this way. F of giant blank equals 4. I see an x, I'm going to put a giant parentheses. -7. So write that down now. Everyone write this down now. And then you're going to pop in -3 into here and figure out what that is. You're going to pop in 0 into here, figure out what that is. Pop in 3/4 into there. Okay? And then write them in correct function notation. So in other words, f of 4, just like that one up there. That's function notation. F of 4 equals -5. And you write just like that. F of -3 equals, and then whatever it equals. Good? So do you understand what we're asking for? So you're going to tell me, later on, you're going to say f of -3 equals, and then you're going to write in what that equals. That's the function, using correct function evaluation notation. That's this. All right, so that's number 1 and number 2. And then, so yeah, that continues on to the next page, B and C. There's more of that on the next page. And then, do you want to just check in after 1 and 2? Or do you want to do 1, 2, and then 3 and 4, and then check in? What do you guys want to do? All right, do 1 and 2 and check in. That's fine. All right, so get in your groups, do number 1 and 2, and then we'll check in.